Welcome to interview preparation session. Coming to the first one, what is linear regression? I will wait for 2 minutes. Please mention answers in live chat. What is linear regression? Coming to the answer, linear regression is a method of finding the best straight line fitting to the given data. Finding the best linear relationship between the independent and dependent variables. The linear regression model describes the dependent variable with a straight line that is defined by the equation y is equal to a plus b into x, where a is the y-intercept of the line and b its slope. So this is about all about linear regression. In linear regression, we can handle outliers using below steps. What are those? Discussing about this, using training data, find best hyperplane or line that best fit. We will discuss here 4 points. Find points where are far away from the line or hyperplane. Say point to pointer which is very far away from hyperplane. Remove them considering those points as an its outlier. Third one, retrain the model. Fourth, go to the step on. If the output is continuous, what are the various error functions? Let's discuss what is MAE here. The mean absolute error, full form of MAE. And the MAE represents the average of the absolute difference between the actual and predicted value in the data set. It measures the average of the residuals in the data set. Let's discuss what is MSE. Mean squared error represents the average of the squared difference between the original and predicted value in the data set. It measures the variance of the residuals. What is RMSE? So full form of RMSE, root mean square error. So RMSE is the square root of mean square error. It measures the standard deviation of residual. Next, R square value. What is R square value? Please mention in live chat. Okay, let's discuss R square value. The coefficient of determination or R squared represents the proportion of the variance in the dependent variable, which is explained by the linear regression model. It is a scalar. It is a scale-free score representative of the values being small or large of the value of R square will be the less than 1. So this is about all square value. And coming to the next, adjusted R squared. What is adjusted R squared? I will wait for 2 minutes. Everyone mention in live chat. adjusted R squared is a modified version of R square, and it is adjusted for the number of independent variables in the model, and it will always be less than or equal to R square. In the formula below, n is the number of observations in the data and k is the number of independent variables in the data. If we have data set balance, how can we split data, train and test randomly? And these are the questions you can mention in live chat. Imbalance means, and what is the output is discrete in two categories? How can you measure error? Confusion matrix or cross table? And next one, coming to the next one, what is the use of validation? To experiment with hypertuning parameters, less HP, we can do train and test. Differences among these evaluation matrices. So here we will discuss MSE, mean squared error, and root mean square error. The large prediction error means absolute error. However, RMSE is widely used than MSE to evaluate the performance of the regression model with other random models, as it has the same unit as the dependent variable y-axis. MSE is a differentiable function that makes it easy to perform mathematical operations in compressing to a non-differentiable function like MAE. Therefore, in many models, RMSE is used as a default matrix for calculating loss function, despite being harder to interpret than MAE. So here I have mentioned few points also. MAE is more robust to data with outliers. The lower value of MAE, MSE, and RMSE implies higher accuracy of a regression model. However, a higher value of R square is considered desirable. Coming to the next one, R squared and adjust the R square or used for explaining how well the independent variable in the linear regression model explain the variability in the dependent variable. R square value always increase the addition of the independent variable, which might lead to the addition of the redundant variable in our model. So, however, the adjust R squared solve this problem. Coming to the next point here, adjust R squared takes into count the number of predictor variable and it is used to determine the number of independent variable in our model. The value of adjust R square decreases if the increase in the R square by the additional variable is not significant enough here. One more point we can discuss here. For comparing the accuracy among different linear regression model, RMSE is better choice than R squared. So, coming to the next, what is logistic regression? Coming to the answer, logistic regression is a supervised learning classification algorithm used to predict the probability of a target variable. The nature of a target or dependent variable is actually disclosable here, which means there would be only two possible classes. Mathematically, a logistic regression model predict p y is equal to 1 as a function of x. Coming to the next one, what is a confusion matrix? Coming to the answer, a confusion matrix is a technique for summarizing the performance of a classification algorithm. Classification accuracy alone can be misleading. If you have an unequal number of observations in each class, or if you have more than 2 classes in your data set. So this is called confusion matrix. Coming to the next one, what is cost function? Please mention in live chat. Coming to the answer, a cost function is a formula used to predict the cost that will be experienced at a certain activity level. The cost function are typically incorporated in the company budgets so that modeled changes in sales and unit volume will automatically trigger changes in budgeted expenses in the budget model. Coming to the next one, what is ROC curve? Coming to the answer, an ROC curve, receiver operating characteristic curve, this is the full form, is a graph showing the performance of the classification model at all classification thresholds. This curve plots having 2 parameters, true positive rate and false positive rate. These are the 2 parameters in ROC curve. Coming to the next one, what is multinomial regression? Coming to the answer, in such a kind of a classification, dependent variables can have three or more possible another types or the types having no quantitative significance. For example, these variables may represent type A or type B or type C. Coming to the next one, what is ordinal logistic regression? Please mention in chat box. In such a kind, coming to this ordinal logistic regression, coming to the answer, in such kind of classification, dependent variables can have three or more possible ordered types or the types having quantitative significance. For example, these variables may represent poor or good or very good, excellent, and each category have the scores like 0, 1, 2, and 3. Coming to the next one, what is SVM? Full form of SVM, support vector machine. What is this SVM? I will give you 2 minutes time, mention in live chat. Support vector machine, SVM, is a supervised machine learning algorithm which can be used for both classification or regression challenges. However, it is mostly used in classification problems. In the SVM algorithm, we plot each data item as a point in n-dimensional space, where n is number of futures you have. With the value of each future being the value of a particular coordinate, then we perform classification by finding the hyperplane that differentiate the two classes very well. The goal of the SVM algorithm is to create the best line or decide boundary that can segregate n-dimensional space into classes so that we can easily put the new data points in the correct categorical in the future. The best decision boundary is called a hyperplane. The SVM chooses the extreme points vector that helps in creating the hyperplane. These extreme cases are called as support vector machine, and hence algorithm is termed as SVM. This is all about SVM. Coming to the next one, what are the kernels used in SVM? Coming to the answer, now we can easily separate the two classes. These formations are called kernels. Popular kernels are polynomial kernel, Gaussian kernel, radial base function, Laplace RBF kernel, sigmoid kernel, ANOVA RBF kernel, etc. See, kernel functions or a more detailed description. Machine learning kernels. Coming to the next question. What are the hyperparameter methods in machine learning? Please mention in live chat. What are the hyperparameter methods in ML? Coming to the answer, Bayesian optimization, evolutionary algorithm, gradient-based optimization, grid search, Keras-Turner, population-based optimization, param ILMS. ILS. Coming to the eighth one, random search. These are the hyperparameter methods in machine learning. NLP, natural language processing. Coming to the next question, concept behind NLP. What is the concept behind natural language processing? Mention in live chat. NLP is a field of artificial intelligence that gives the machines the ability to read, understand, and derive meaning for the human language. It is a discipline that focuses on the interaction between data science and human language and is scaling to lots of industries. So this is called all about NLP, natural language processing. Okay, coming to the next one, what is stemming or limitization? I will give you 2 minutes time. Mention in live chat. What are the stemming or limitization? Coming to the answer, this is the idea of reducing different forms of word to a core root. Words that are derived from one another can be mapped to the central word or symbol, especially if they have the same core meaning. These two will be coming to the next one, architecture of bagging. What is architecture of bagging? The key idea of bagging is the use of multiple base learners, which are trained separately with a random sample from the training set, which through a voting or a averaging approach produce a more stable and accurate model. So this is called about this. And how to improve the accuracy of a model. Add more data, treat missing values and outlier values, future engineering, future selection, multiple algorithms, algorithm tuning, ensemble model methods. So these are the things how to improve the accuracy of a model. What is sequence of base learners in bagging, various techniques of future selection. If you know these two questions, mention in live chat. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. I will be there here for 5 minutes. Okay, thank you.